Therapy. I 33F have been married to my 32M husband for 1.5 years now and dating for almost 10. We had our first kid 14 months ago and have another on the way in May. We have always been very independent, split bills, rent, vacations 50-50 where he paid probably 60/40ths when it came to eating out. We always had our own car's own bills separate to our relationship too. Anyway, I went through some career shifts after COVID, and that even included opening a small business with him that neither succeeded or failed. We sold for a small profit after 3 years. I then took some time off to pursue different things and see what it was I wanted to settle doing while going through my savings. As my savings were thin, I realized I needed to go back to work. I went back to the F&B management industry and shortly found out after that I was pregnant. We were trying, but also didn't think it would happen so fast. I realized that this job wasn't ideal for being pregnant as I needed to be on a hot rooftop all summer and on my feet for 45 to 50 hours a week. So we discussed it and I quit. I quit with the idea I'd work on getting my real estate license, that way I can pursue work after the baby was here on my terms. In the meantime, my husband lent me money to make sure I can survive for the rest of the year until I worked again. Fast forward to our baby almost being born. This is when we sold the COVID business and used that money to start an e-commerce business in hopes we can stay home and raise our baby while having some sort of income. Since I wasn't working though, I didn't contribute to this business. My husband fronted the investment and the deal was we work on it together for shared family income. Baby is here now, and of course shit hits the fan. As first-time parents, it's not easy. We are fighting non-stop and there are a lot of issues arising between us. It's the best and worst 6 months of my life. I'm crying every day and regretting everything, but look at my beautiful daughter and think, no way. Everything is going to be fine. She's perfect. But my marriage is falling apart. My husband thinks I'm a loser and I think he's the worst husband in the world. He is the type of person who needs his sleep, and if he doesn't get it, he's mean. We literally started fighting at the hospital BC. He was mad I made him stay with me overnight instead of letting him go home to rest. Mind you, I was in labor for almost 16 hours and labored at home for 24 hours, so I haven't slept in days. But that's just so you can get a feel of what my issues with him were. So newborn stage was no easy feat. I felt like I was drowning with no support. Anyway, there's so many details to fill, but I want to get to the main point. We were constantly fighting every day for almost the first year of my daughter's life. In the beginning, it was the stress of not sleeping and adjusting to a newborn. Then it was about the fact I wasn't working and he was lending me money. So finally, after she turned 1, I said I'll go back to work. But now that means he's the primary parent. Where prior to that I was the primary parent. He didn't love this, but he has 2 choices. Either he supports me while I raise our kid, financial stress, or I go back to work and he stays at home with the baby stress. He chose the latter, of course. So I start working and I'm thinking, great. This is going to be good for us. I'll start making my own money again and I can pay him back and we will have our space from each other, but ideally, I would have loved to be the one to stay home and raise my baby. I just can't afford this choice. Anyway, I couldn't be more wrong. Now he is stressed about me working and we start fighting because he says I'm selfish BC, now I'm working for myself, and that I'm a broke bitch and it's my fault I need to work. I didn't plan having a kid better, etc. I work full-time door to door 8:30 to 6:30. When I come home, I take over right away and do dinner and bedtime with my girl. Then repeat. On my days off, I get her full day and allow my husband to take a break from kid duty. Here's what I don't understand. He thinks I'm a bad wife because he thinks it's my duty to make sure I come home and cook for them and clean all the dishes, since it's the least I can do while he watches our daughter all day, and I work for myself when sometimes I'm tired and don't want to cook, or I'm frustrated when I come home and there's a million dishes in the sink. He thinks I don't do anything for the family and says that I'm useless and literally don't contribute. He kept saying this stuff to me, so I told myself I would stop doing things then so he can see what it is I really do and don't do. I stopped doing his laundry and only do my daughter and mine. I stopped cooking for him and only made food for my daughter. I stopped washing his dishes. And instead of apologizing, he said I'm petty. Okay, fine. If he wants me to be a better wife by making sure I cook and clean, then whatever, I'll sacrifice and do so. I started cleaning and cooking daily again. Then he starts complaining that I don't take my daughter right away when coming home. I told him I'm not sure how I'm supposed to cook and watch our 14-month-old at the same time. He said wake up earlier and cook before work, and then compared me to his mom and grandma and said I need to learn to sacrifice as a mom. Okay, fine. I started cooking when my daughter goes to bed or waking up earlier before work to cook and make sure there's food for him. Now the issue is my daughter is attached to my husband and prefers him. She started this a month before I started working. She just has a preference for him, meaning if we are both there, she will want him over me. If she's crying, he can calm her instantly over me. BC of this, he's burnt out by her. I understand this very well, BC. She favored me in the beginning and I understand very well how it can be. But instead of him acknowledging that he can now understand how it is, he tells me instead that I should think it's weird I don't have a mother's touch. That I am a bad mom, BC, my daughter doesn't want me. I told him this isn't fair. Anyway, the list is so long of issues we have, and I wish I can write them all because it truly makes me feel better, but it also makes me feel sad, BC, I'm stuck. He's kicked me out or tried more times than I can count. He literally wants me to leave and I can't afford to. I'm also stuck thinking for the sake of our kids we really should try and make this work. I am already sleeping in my daughter's room since we were all co-sleeping, but BC, she's so attached to him, she will wake up and want him at night, which also made him so mad. So I said I'll sleep in her room with her so he can get rest at night. Like I just feel like I do so much, but we are at the point of so much dislike that everything and anything we do is going to irritate the other. I'm just so depressed. I'm pregnant with his second child, and he thinks I'm having the time of my life working meanwhile I cry every day. Get no breaks and am pregnant. He tells me how miserable he is with no breaks. Meanwhile, he gets to literally hide in the room from 7 p.m. till 8 a.m. baby free. I really just don't know what to do anymore. He doesn't want to do therapy. He doesn't want to talk to friends or family. He thinks telling PPL about our problems makes me a bad wife. I just can't anymore. I'm fucking depressed, and I'm running on empty. I know what I need to do, but I don't know how do I make an average-ass salary. I have another kid, okay, the way, and I owe him almost $30K.